Okay. Apologies for the late start. Alright, so what are we doing here? We're going to have a little look at the clashes. So if I load in the federated model, okay, so I'm not going to open that one yet. So I will open a blank Navisworks. So I need the federated model open. So now what I'm going to do, we have a couple of clashes here, so let's just have a little wander around in Navis and see what we have. we don't actually have that much, but we don't have that much done. So now, as you can see, we have our riser done. We come out, we turn right, and we go down here, we turn left. Okay. So let's just have a look at what we've done. So I'm just going to look for the export view. Beautiful. I'm going to export just the ground floor. So I'll just temporarily hide that for now with HH. NWC. Just going to save that. Right, then if I go back here, I just call it elect latest, that in. Right, so now, as you can see, we have 2 runs, and we're after coming along this way, which this reflects what we just see in Revit. So if I go back to Revit just to show you, so it might be easier in 3D here. So we come out of our riser, we have a gap here, which you have to fix. We have to come up, we come up, we then, this pink or purple snakes around, then the red one also does that, and they join, they run on top of each other and around like that. Okay. Now, what I just realized is there should be supports in here. So I'm going to turn those on just to have a look. I believe they are generic mods. Maybe not. What would they be? Let me see if they're in here. We have to select bracket. What are they? They are generic mods. Okay, so if I turn on a generic mod in here. Oh, sorry. Should be here. There we go. So we've actually added our brackets. We haven't done this line here, but we've done this line. In this line, I actually like looking at the brackets just to see. So in our current Navisworks here, we have no brackets. Okay, now I'm going to hide off the electrical that we were looking at the start. I'm going to load our appearance profiler. There we go. So now what do we have here? Remember we had a gap in the green low voltage tray. That's because we have to somehow resolve this clash here. So I'm going to have to drop this down, this green one down. Have we any other clashes? I think we're okay. We're very, very, very tight here. We have a gap. So let's just run a quick clash test, see how we are. So we've identified one clash here, so we'll have to gap in that because we're going to have to drop down and around that. So that's definitely going to be a clash. So let's go to our clash report. So we'll run this one. You go new test. We just call it test 1. That's fine. Run a federated model against that one. Run the test. 2 clashes. Okay, so they're both that same area. So I know where they are because that's just exactly what we're looking at here. So that'd be easy enough to solve. Let's solve that clash now in Revit. And we do another export. And we do another clash test then without any clashes. So let's see how we do that. We go to our Revit here. We go to the area that we're talking about. So that's over here. Now I might just close all these. If I hit this button here, I should close all views I'm not looking at. I'll close this one because we don't need that for now. But as you can see, we have our gap here. This is the one that we're talking about. So we have to drop this down to go below this pipe here. And then we have to obviously drop this one to meet up with that one. So we have our section, okay, which is going the whole way here. So we can bring that in. We have one section. Let's bring it in to where we're talking about. We don't even need that far. Let's open that one. We can, if we want, bring this down. Because this is the one that we're looking at here. This is our issue. So we can bring it right up there if we want. Let's just WT to have two windows. Now, it's no harm because obviously we're looking straight at this one. So if I click on that and go in, that's straight looking at that T piece, which is obviously clashing. So we have to drop that. It's no harm having one at the side as well. So this is our work in progress here at the side. So we want to bring that right in, looking at the side, and this will show us exactly what we need to do. So we have something like that. If we need to change it, we can change it. There's no issues really. Now, as we can see, we're clashing. Now I'm going to just VV and turn off. If I tab over and just hit S, I'm going to just hide the sections because I don't need to see that. And obviously now you see the clash. So this one drops down. This one here drops down as well. And that's the whole idea. If I just spread back, you can see that this whole line. So let's WT, get it all open. So what we can now see is that this from here to here kind of has to be split and fixed. So a little cheat is select the two, the purple and the red, which is the ICT is purple and the red is fire alarm. Double hit H for HH and that hides. So now I can just kind of do that same thing. I'm just going to reverse click here to select everything. HH, HH. So now when I'm looking, I can just see what I'm kind of working at here. So I'm going to split with gap, drop down this part, which should get rid of this clash here, and then I'll just drop this piece down and run it in and join it. So that's all we need to do. I'm going to take it nice and slow. Select it first, split with gap. You can split by element here, but I like the split with gap option. So really it's a preference thing, because splitting with gap actually splits with a gap. Whereas if I had of chose split here, I get the same option, but I would end up, I'm going to control Z, I would end up having to kind of delete one of those. So it depends on what you need. I like the split with gap option because that for this is what I want. I just want to click on that and delete it for now. Now I'm going to move this section up here. That's fine. That's us here. So you see where we are. Now if I come in here, I can type DL or I can go to my detail line. I'll just type DL just for speed. So that's a detail line. I'm just going to draw a detail line out here. That's the top of that. I want to just measure. So 45. Okay. So we need to be more than 45. So if we're 50 mil down, we'll have a nice clean gap there. So if I drop that, obviously subtract 50 from that. So that goes to 1, that goes to 5. We can see we have a 5 mil gap. Now if you want that sort of tolerance, you can have that sort of tolerance, but that's still like 5 mil. That's all that is. So we just click on it again and say, do we want it to be 5 mil, or do we, you might be better off dropping that maybe down to 20. Just give us a bit, a little bit of leeway there. Plus you also want to get your bend here. So if that's not enough, let me show you. Right, sometimes it can be better to actually draw here and see what the minimum bend is. So if we change our bend radius from 300 to 50, so we can get a tighter bend, we keep it at 45, or we can go 90. But to be honest, 90 bends aren't as nice looking as 45s. So we can try and get it like that. Okay, lovely. So we actually have it like that, which is a pretty tight bend. Now I'm going to just select all and make sure that this goes back onto low voltage. So then our appearance profiler won't be messed. I'm just going to click on that and make sure that that's low voltage. Yes, it is. Okay, beautiful. So now what have we done? We've dropped this below that, but we still have to get that joined to these two. So we know we're not clashing there because we can see it. So that means we can actually move our section. See this guy here, we can do that. See, because when we're in here, we can see we're not clashing, but we need to join this and this. So I'm just going to do the very same thing. I'm just going to pull these back, give myself as much space as possible. Okay, and I know I'm on that one. Sorry, I should have shown that. And I know that that's that one, right? So by clicking on those, if I want, I can select those two and HH so they're out of the way so we don't get confused. But I did know already that's them. Right click, draw cable tray, change our bend radius to 50. And let's go. Right, so I'm just going to draw that. I can see it's too low here, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. Well, just do another little trick at the end. Right, so now we have clearly went too far, which is fine. We have an align tool here, so the align rule is to this, that. So click on what you want, the other guys, what level item that you want them to line up to. So click on this first, then click on the one that you want to move. Go back, click on this one, and move the other one. So now they're all on the same line. So if I click on this one, we're at 3120. Here, we're at 3120. And simply just join. Join. Now we could have done that in the plan view here. Now because we've split with gap, we know we're grabbing all these, and we just change those service types in here to low voltage. Now, does it go back to green? Yes, it does. Perfect. So now that we used HH, that's why our box is blue. Whenever you use HH, a box goes blue. So we go in here, and to reverse HH, you type HR. And to reverse it in here now, box is blue, goes back to black after I hit HR. Right. So that's our clash solved. Let's go back to our export view. Take a look at our lovely brackets. Do an export, and we load it into Navis. So let's go up to File, Export, NWC, and of course if you're looking where this is, check the video in the video description. Sorry, check in the video description and you'll see where the Navisworks export is. So I'm just changing this one from latest to latest 1, going back to Navis here. I'm going to append, and latest 1 is there, so I'm going to append that. I'm going to hide out latest, that was the one with the clash, so I'm just going to right click and hide. Now everything is all grey, so I'm just going to go Appearance Profiler and I'm going to run this one. If you're wondering how to make an Appearance Profiler, check in the video description as well. So now, what did we do? Right, so we had a few things to do here just to avoid that. We had to come out of the riser. We had to drop down nice and below that pipe. And then we had to tie it back into the T, which meant we actually had to drop that T piece down. So we have a nice sweep down, underneath, not clashing, and then when you go through it, we go back up to our nice level. So we're keeping all these nice and straight, and the reason we do that is so one bracket will span the width of the cable trays. And we can also add brackets in for these here as well, but I just wanted to, it's the same process. So if you can add brackets onto the cable trays, you can add it onto the ductwork. You just want to keep them nice and level like that for brackets. So when we come up here, we come out at one level. So if we need to bracket these somewhere, we can. We do change our level here, but that's because we are looking to turn right and left. So this bit's a little bit tricky because we are turning right and left, so we have to go up and down, but we do drop back onto the same level as early as possible. And in the case where we can't, because we have to get around this clash, so we had to avoid this one. So what we did was we ran the purple tray across that one, and then into the middle, and then when we could, we dropped back down. So we could move this back We don't need to go as far as we did, but we could move that back, but I left it there just for the video purposes of that span. We could have just went through here, finished off here, dropped back down, and then a nice clean sweep, but I just wanted to show kind of how you do it. And then here's the opposite then, so to avoid these ducts here, we had to kind of snake the fire alarm containment. So we had to snake that for kind of a longer distance around underneath here at the same level as the purple. So I might just hide this one for now just to show you. So you got a clean run up looking at that, coming on top, coming around, and then they're going to go back into a line of three. So you see I've hidden that one there, so that's why you don't see it. So you can unhide all here. And then actually, because I unhid all my federated model, I have to turn off the architecture. And I have to hide this one and hide this. Yes. So that's where we are. So that's how you avoid a couple of clashes with a nice neat install, keeping it straight, dropping it down, getting around tight areas. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like if you did. And of course, if you have any questions, please reach out to me in the comments section. I am Trippin' Switches on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Instagram's probably the best place to catch me. If you want me to show you something, DM me there. Or of course in the video section. I'll try and make a video for you if you are stuck. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. So that ended at 40, say, but didn't start. Nice and slow. Selected exactly there, generic mods. Okay, so if I turn on we come out, we turn right, and we go down here, we turn left. Okay. So let's just have a look at what we've done. So I'm just going to look for the export view. Beautiful. I'm going to export just the ground floor. So just temporarily hide that for now with HH, NWC. Okay, hello everyone. So I'm going to do a clash detection report. So using Navisworks. So we've modeled this in Revit, we've exported into Navisworks, and we need to check for clashes between the M and E. So we want to make sure that in no place are brackets or containment hitting off ductwork or ductwork hitting off anything else, which includes as well our light fittings, which are circular light fittings this time because I just download them really quick. just for purposes of the video. Right, so clash detection in Navisworks Manage. You'll need Manage for this now, not Freedom. So you need a paid version. Just go to the Home tab, then across here to Clash Detective, about halfway across. When you go to Clash Detect, you can just do Add Test. So give it a name. So this time we're just going to call it Test 2. Select what you want to clash test. So I'm going to federated model against my model I have in here. Run the test, and we've one clash. Okay, so we've one clash showing. So we have to solve this clash, figure out where it is and how to solve it. So what we have to do to get that going. Right, so if we just X on a clash detect, we can get, I just actually wondering where this is anyway in the model. But if I just close that out, I'll see everything come back in. I'll just zoom up and look down. Oh, okay. So this is actually right at the side. Okay. So this is something that we didn't notice. Well, I missed because this pipe comes up. So that duct does. So really to solve this clash, we just have to increase the space between here and here and just tighten up there and we should miss it. So it's a relatively easy clash to solve because we just have to pull this across. Okay, well let's solve that one anyway. So for this clash, we are here and there's a pipe coming up just the far side of that. So let's just close this for a second and we will see. So in here, which is actually hard to see, this pipe here is coming up and it's clashing with the side of our tray. So if we just open that in 3D, clicking on it and using the section box, and let's just see here what's going on. So as you can see, this pipe is clashing with that. So we have to solve this. Okay, and the easiest way is just shifting this across to the left. Now we could just grab it and tab, but that is not a nice way of doing things. Because if you tab like that, you'll actually pull the whole line. So this goes up. It's easier showing Navisworks. This actually goes, if I was to tab that across, this actually goes up and down. So by tabbing across, I've got a limited amount of space between this board and this tray. So what I could do is do that and show you. So we can actually, it's only slightly clashing. So a tab across here would actually solve that. So let's be really, really brutal here and tab across. But now, you see, it's actually not moving our entire run. But it's going to clash with that. So to be honest, the tabbing option is not neat. So I'm going to just Control Z. It's not really a nice way of doing things. Right, okay. Because when you're tabbing, you don't really know what else you're doing. Okay, so what we want to do is figure out some way to get around that clash. It's actually going to be rather difficult because we drop down here. So we might have to change something. We might have to drop down earlier. Or we might just have to tab across, like if we move it across rather than tab, if we figure out, let me see, if we go DL maybe, and we just draw a detail line and see how much space we have. Oh, sorry, that wasn't DL, that was a line. Did I? Maybe I typed it. So if I draw a detail line, I'll just align that to the board. So to here this. Then I'm going to measure between here and here. Or we have dims off. Of course we do. So VV, tap to the next one and turn on dims. And just check this. We have exactly 50 mil. Now we can move that board because we have a lot more than 50 mil, and we could have just measured from the side of the board now that I turned on dims, but from here we have 552, so we could technically move that board across and pull this across if we just check Navis, see how much space we have actually when we come out of our riser for this one. So there is quite a bit of space. So we could actually pull everything across. And now we know we can tap that across because there's nothing in the way. It's only going up. So it can go up anywhere once it's not going to clash. And there's nothing here. So that's fine. And if I was to turn back on our architect model, unhide, you'll see obviously we need to put our ropes in, but we don't. So our door is there, our cable trays are here, our board is there. Where they come out onto the floor is obviously here. So they come out onto the floor there. Then we just have a pipe in. Really, the vent is in the wrong spot because it's not even connected. So it's just floating there. But we're still going to avoid it because it's still coming up as a clash, and I don't want to do the easy thing, just go into the model, delete it. I want to pretend that that's a real clash and solve it. So we don't need the architect model on for that because you can't see everything. It's harder to navigate when it's on. We're only looking at an M&E clash here. We know what it is. We know where it is. And we know, because we've looked at that in Navisworks, that we can actually just move everything across to avoid it. So if we move everything across, now if I measure here and here, you actually have an option of shortest distance. You know that? So if you have here, a review, and you see this shortest distance, it tells you the shortest distance is, so it's 42 mil. Okay, that's the shortest distance. Right. So we go back to Navisworks. We go to our model here. We draw a big box just around this one. We have our board, and we can just shift that. Maybe we won't get it. Right, let's have a look. I'm just going to call this one latest 2. So when we go to Navisworks and we are going to append in, we're going to append latest 2. We're going to hide latest 1. We're going to run our appearance profiler. And we're going to check, which I think we still will be clashing. Yes, we are. Now, could we have went more? We could have went significantly more. So that in Navis, when you're in Revit, that is not a good reflection to the size of it, because when you are here, we could actually probably detail line, you know, in here. Something like this. Measure this to this, and we've got 66 mil. So if we make that 20 mil. We can then delete our detail line. We can line this up. Okay, well, we line that up in a section. So we'll line that up. Where's our section? Here it is here. Grab it and pull it down to here. And we line that up in the section itself. So we'll have the detail line here. So DL, detail line. We're just going to draw to the edge. And then we go here. So to this, to this, and delete the detail line. Okay. So now if we open up this in 3D, so little section box, see what's going on. We are avoiding that. Now we look in here. We are avoiding that. So that's our clashes gone. So now we will go back. Don't worry about saving. We will do an export here. And we will call this one latest tree. Go back to Navisworks. We will hide latest 2, hide this one, and append in latest tree. Open. We will run our appearance profiler, and we will just check. So we're going to go to our clash report now, have a little look, and see that it's solved. I'm sorry this took so long, but this is the kind of checking that you have to do in clashes. It's just a quick way to see how you're going to solve difficult clashes and not be just rootless by tabbing across. So now if I go to Clash Detective, I'm just going to click on Clash 2, but I'm going to go New Clash. Okay, so I'm going to start again, Task 3, this one, run. No clashes. So that's perfect. So that's what we want there. So I need to make a video. So I'm going to do a clash detection report. So okay. Right. So that's our clash detection. We go back. And what do you think of our brackets? So now we add our brackets. So what we need to do is get a couple of brackets in along this area here. as we have the easy ones done, but we just have to get a little line of skinny and then wider brackets here. So narrow ones where it goes to 2 and wider ones where it goes to 3. So this here will be narrow brackets, but we'll have to tier. So in here we'll have to tier. So really, we're not sure of enough space to do that. We might have to raise this red one a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's go with our brackets. So we don't need that one for now. Brackets are simple, so we have one here. I'm just going to copy it across. Where's that? Okay, great similar. Okay, whatever. So spacebar will turn it. We just have to put it wherever we want. So let's say we put one here. I just realized that dimensions are on, so I'm just going to go, oh yeah, okay. This is a work in progress, so turn them off. Okay. So we have our first one. So we're just going to line to the edge. If you can't do that, DL is detail line. Just draw a detail line off it. And what we'll do is we will measure from the detail line to what we want to bracket. Because we've turned off dims, so actually, that's actually funny. I just turned off dims and there I am trying to dimension. So turn it back on. Right, so 79. So we actually only need that to be 50. And then this side we do the same. So from here to here, we just want nice even 50-50 on both sides. Beautiful. Okay. Did that. It actually, this bracket doesn't have the parameter to let you do that. Right, there's 50, okay. So we kind of have to, by hook or by crook, we got there. And then we just have to copy that one once you've one right, so you can look at it in here, see what it looks like. But really, if you want to see it on something, select that, select the bracket. Then we spin it around and we realize it's not on the bottom, so it's just floating. That's very important. So we need a section. We always need sections to be looking at what we're doing, how we're doing it. So now we have a section looking in that general area. You see, we just click on here to see to make sure it is. We know the bracket's below it because we just looked, and we just need to align that up. So we want to align that to the bottom. So now we have that in position. Now you can copy the bracket sideways. But to be honest, I usually just do it in plan view. Once I get one right, I'm happy enough to take it from the far edge. And because this isn't really right, we probably want to be about 1830. Just to kind of get it in spots here that are away. And then the next one, we'll go the far side of this. We probably want to be about 2600, so that's fine. Just to be on the other side of all those bends, because we know that this drops down, then levels off, then it changes again. It's a bit awkward. So what actually will happen on site or in the field there, in those areas, is something bespoke will be created for those brackets in those areas. So like this one here, we can see is going to clash, so we're going to have to tab that one back a bit. If I just click on this one, you can see that might cause an issue with this. I think we're okay, I think we're okay. We'll check in how this works anyway. So again, this is where we're going to change. So we're going to get one just before there. Then we actually change to just 2 brackets here. So this one is going to be slightly off. So we'll do it here. And then we will pull that one back, because we stick to 2 for a bit. Then we will go out here. We will go to, well, you want to be at least 1200. Sorry, by the way, you want that multiple ticked if you're doing this. If you want to constrain them, we constrain them so I can't actually go left or right. So they'll all be straight. So if I go 1200 here, and then 1200 here, where's that leave me? Then I won't get one in here, which is fine. So all that we have to do is select something like this, go back in here. We'll just make it a little bit wider in our 3D view. Pull it the length. And we see that we've added our brackets across. We actually don't seem to have any clashes. So we have our bracket there, we have our bracket here, 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 and another one here. So that's lovely. Now the only thing that we need to do is in one section, which is here, we need to tier those brackets, because when I come around here, we don't have one in there. So we just need to select those brackets and add a tier. So we can do that from the 3D view. We'll try and get it so we can see it. Maybe if I grab this one, hold control, grab that one, this one. Right, so that's those 4. Now in here, we actually have to add a tier, because we only have the brackets that are 1. So will it let me add in here? Or do I have to swap it out in my family? So let's just click on 1. We'll see what's going on here, because if I go back to my family and generic mods, we actually need a double. So we actually have to swap this one for this one. So we have to swap that like that for a double. And then, oh, I see what, it's not actually the right way. So maybe we don't have a tier. That's a double. We just want a bracket. So in this case, we might have to edit family. No, we won't do that. That is for another day. Editing families for another day. What we'll just do is we'll call that the brackets for now, and then we will add a new tier. And I'll do a separate video on that, because actually it'll take too long. Anyway, thanks for watching, and take care. this one and append in later. Right, so that's our clash detection. We go back. And what do you think of our brackets? So now we add our brackets. So now we add our brackets. So what we need to do is get a couple of brackets in along this area here, as we have the easy ones done, but we just have to get a little line of skinny and then wider brackets here. So narrow ones where it goes to 2 and wider ones where it goes to 3. So this here will be narrow brackets, but we'll have to tier. So in here we'll have to tier. So really not sure of enough space to do that. We might have to raise this red one a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's go with our brackets. So we don't need that one for now. Brackets are simple, so we have one here. I'm just going to copy it across. Where's that? Okay, great similar. Okay, whatever. So spacebar will turn it. We just have to put it wherever we want. So let's say we put one here. I just realized that dimensions are on, so I'm just going to go, oh yeah, okay. This is a work in progress, so turn them off. Okay. So we have our first one. So we're just going to line to the edge. If you can't do that, DL is detail line. Just draw a detail line off it. And what we'll do is we will measure from the detail line to what we want to bracket. Because we've turned off dims. So actually, that's actually funny. I just so how many videos have we got here? Maybe I put it on too long today. So what I'll do is I'll put on clash detection. Took a screenshot of that anyway. Okay, only 9 minutes long. So we actually got 3 videos there. So if I export 1, 2, 3. And if I look here then, just want to see when these videos come in. Uh, Okay, that one here. I actually have to grab that. I can grab it from most viewed. Yeah, we're doing all right. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome along to the Navisworks training video. So this video is aimed mainly at project managers, but it will pick up anybody at a beginner to intermediate stage. I'm not going to do too many difficult tasks. I just want to explain the ribbon, how to walk, how to look around, check properties, some basic things that are really important if you want to be a project manager or if you're working in the MEP field and you're not sure about Navisworks, because with BIM side of things, you do not have to know how to edit, but you certainly need to know how to view. So if you start off with Navisworks, this is manage. So you may only have a freedom license. So I'm not going to do anything outside of the freedom package. So manage is basically a paid version of Navisworks, whereas freedom is a free version, hence the name freedom. So freedom will give you some of the basic functions, and manage will give you more of the detailed ones, like the likes of clash detective and things, which we're not going to get into, but there is a video in the video description should you need to go there. Okay, so the first and most important thing is the navigation bar, which is here. If for some reason it's gone or you can't see it, you just simply go up to your top ribbon. So you have your home, you have your view tab, your view, but in this view option here, you have a navigation bar here, so you can see it. When I click on it, it's there. If I click on it again, it fades across. So you will have that. Okay, you have a view cube here. You can make it disappear by hitting view cube. So they're just two basic things. I don't really use the view cube, but I do use navigation bar. Now we're going to be in around just the bottom two features, which is the 2 feet and the select, which is the mouse cursor. So for now we're going to learn how to walk. Very, very simple. Click on the 2 feet once with the left click on your mouse. Now if you want to walk forward, you left click, push that down, your left click on your mouse. To walk forward, I'm still holding down my left click. To walk forward, hold down your left click and push your mouse forward. The faster you push your mouse, the faster you move. And then if you pull back, you'll move backwards. And again, the same thing. The faster you pull back, the faster you move backwards. And the slower you pull back or forward, the slower you move. Okay, so just practice that there. So that's left click down, push forward, move forward, left click down, pull back to move back. Fantastic. That's our move forward. To look left and right, just left click down, turn right to look right, turn left to look left. So that's our basic turning left, turning right, moving forward and moving backwards. So what's next? The next button is the mouse wheel. So this is kind of like your head. So if you roll the wheel forward, you'll look down. And if you roll the wheel backwards, you'll look up. So this is like your head looking up and down. Okay, so now we know how to move forward, back, look left, look right, look up, and look down. Okay, now moving up and down is again with the mouse wheel. So if you click the mouse wheel down as if it's a button, you'll get the cross here. If you push forward, you'll fly up. So this is like a fly option. If you pull down, you'll fly down. So this is just a fly option. So now we can move. Now we can go up, down, left, right, wherever we want to go. The next thing that's very important is actually the building itself. So currently we can see all this entire building, but we might only want to look at a floor. So for that, we go to our viewpoint section. We come across here to our enable sectioning. So just hit that and it'll section the building down for us. So we can just say, I usually use plane 2 and top. Okay, so that's in here, just from plane 1 to plane 2, and then our alignment from the top. So now if we grab the blue arrow, we can pull it up and down and we can section that building any way we want. The red one, if we grab the red, we can, pull it across. We can pull our green one back and forward. So we can, but mainly we're just going to focus on the up and down. Okay, so if we want to pull that all the way down to our containment, we can do that. If this is in the way, we hit move and it's gone. Nice and handy. So now we can walk forward, we can have a look, we can move to the side. We're moving to the side by mouse wheeling across and just pulling across to the left and pulling across to the right. We are moving down now with the mouse wheel flying down. We're coming over, we're having a look at the containment here, making sure that there's no clashes, that we like the way it's sitting on the bracket. We're inspecting the electrical containment to make sure that it's okay. So we can come over here and we can inspect maybe the riser. We can have a look at this maybe difficult bend to make sure that it's sufficient, that we're coming out through it, that we're happy with how it's looking, that we have enough brackets, whatever the reason that we want to look at is. Maybe we want to check the riser, see how we come out, come down. Here's our riser door. If we come in, do we want the containment on the right? Are we happy with that? Do we want the board here? Should we move it onto the other wall? All these questions we can solve here in Navisworks without stepping a foot on site. So it's really good for health and safety and just avoiding unnecessary risks that may occur on site at any stage. And this is all done pre-construction stage. So we do this nice and early, get it coordinated, get our drawings produced, have our reviews, make sure there's no clashes, all the early stage of a project. Before even we've broken ground, we'd have this coordinated. Okay, so what is left? So that's all our moving around the project, having a look. So the only thing that the last thing I'm going to cover, which is enough for today, if you practice what we've shown you and use this button here, the cursor, that's enough for basic Navisworks training. You can now use Navisworks. So if we hit this select, we can click on this and we get all of the information that we need. We know the service type is fire alarm. We can see the height of it, which is 100 mil high. We can see the size, which is the width. We can see it's 300 by 300 by 100. So we can say, oh, is that thick enough? Do we need a 400 by 100? Can we reduce it to maybe 300 by 25? Now we see this service type is ICT, and this one is our low voltage. So we have low voltage, ICT, and fire alarm in each room. We can also say maybe would a T branch from one of these out here do? We can look at that and just say, have we sufficient cable trays in these rooms? Should we be following the ductwork? Should we have a branch over here? How are we going to get from here to these lights, for example? So we should have another one, coming down here servicing these lights, because we're obviously going to have lights and smoke heads in that room. We've nothing in here, so it's easy to see in areas. How do you get to the lights? We're probably okay here, but we're not okay everywhere. So you can have a look. You can't take viewpoints. That's the only problem with this. So you'd have to take screenshots and send them to someone. In the manage where I am, I can take a viewpoint. So I can save a viewpoint here. I can save another one here. And then I click on the first one, click on the second one, but you can't do that in Freedom. You'd actually have to take screenshots and send them to someone, or get someone to send you to take viewpoints for you. But that's actually enough for now, because you can see everything. If it's put in the Revit model, it'll be put into the Navisworks file. It'll pick up everything for you, let you know if it's a turn, supply air, if it's a low voltage tray, if it's ICT, if it's fire alarm, if it's a light fitting, whatever it is, it'll tell you. So practice that. Let me know how you get on. I'd be interested to see if you have questions. Leave them in the comment section. You can, of course, reach me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, or indeed TikTok. I am tripping switches on them all. But take care. Enjoy the video, and I hope this helps. So here I need to do 237.30, isn't it? this video is aimed mainly at project managers, but it will pick up anybody at a beginner to intermediate stage. I'm not going to do too many difficult tasks. I just want to explain the ribbon, how to walk, how to look around, check properties, some basic things that are really important if you want to be a project manager, or if you're working in the MEP field and you're not sure about Navisworks, because with BIM side of things, you do not have to know how to edit, but you certainly need to know how to view. So if you start off with Navisworks, so if I turn on my appearance profiler, Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there. It's pretty much a 3 hour stream on a Wednesday night. I just want to see if Easy's on. I'm gonna raid him. Hope you enjoyed that. Actually, I enjoyed it. So I'm just practicing my college teaching skills. Hopefully, I got it right. I'm not really an expert, but I'm decent at it. Quite decent, should I say. I'll do maybe a review of this tomorrow. Record it and stick it in for you. I'll see how we get on with that. But anyway, take care. Have a good night, everyone. I'm gonna raid Mr. Easy Guy. I think he's playing SnowRunner. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, but I will raid him anyway. Take care. Talk to you all soon. I think he is actually playing SnowRunner. Oh, there's 8 of us here to go across. That's a nice amount. Well, take care, everyone. See how we get on with that. But anyway.
Incoming raid.
Oh, shiver me timbers. Down this way. Mr. Triple Switches, thank you so much for the raid, buddy. How was your stream? You guys not remember the stream team, so guys, please don't forget to jump over and check them out. Slap them up with the mail follow. Stream was good. Ask good, Glancy. You had a good out stream, buddy. This way. We're back on the Hellraiser. If anything makes me curse, this game do.
More than normal.
More than normal. Right, now this truck will fit in the back of this trailer. So I'm wondering, should I roll that to the back of the truck, grab it down so I can put the container then in the back of this, and tow the other one back as well. Let's have a gander, see what we can do with this baby. Let's do the impossible. What SnowRunner says can't be done. Right, let's jackknife this baby as much as I can. Right,
I'll just mute that.